Welcome back to the Artefactors Union. I am your host and foreman, Douglas Scoundrels, and today we are assembling something without a box. This is the Cat Herder's sprue. It goes along with the Curiosity Killed the Cat Nightmare box for the Plague keyword. These are the rat catchers, or in this case, cat herders. So let's assemble them, I guess. You got two of them here, the male cat herder and the female cat herder. We will just refer to them as Cat Herder 1 and Cat Herder 2, because I like keeping my naming scheme, regardless of what the sprue says, or the instructions for that matter. So we'll start with the male Cat Herder. This time we're going to do things slightly different and actually assemble our cats / extra bits first. This is very obvious in the instructions, but we'll do our two jumping cats, which are these 4 bits and these 2 heads, as well as this net, maybe? That's sitting on the ground. And finish up with the lying down cat, and then we will do the rest of the body. First cat is going to be these 2 halves, and then the head with the ears up. So this one. If you need to confirm, you look at the connection points on the other side. These match up, whereas our next cat will be these 2 bits, right? Okay. Remember again, these 3 pieces. Half of the body with the tail, add the half of the body without the tail, seam, and our cat head. Now let's set this one aside. These 3 pieces for the next cat. Body half with the tail, body half without the tail, and the head. Now, the head and body include part of the cat herder's hand, you can see right here. So the head includes the thumb on it, which will give you good alignment. Alright, set this one aside too. Last individual cat is just going to be these 2 pieces. This is a front half, back half situation, so here's the back half. Our last independent assembly is going to be the net, or at least what I assume is a net, which is going to be these 2 bits, which are effectively the net, and then the opening, which is this piece. Here's what I can best describe as the male half of the net, and the other half of the net. So it's got this nice notch at the end here, which is going to be part of the last bit. You can see right there, that notch. Alright. Now we can assemble the entire body now. Alright, pretty straightforward with one exception. That is going to be body, leg, head, and his tie is a separate bit. Once we're done with all of those, we can attach our cats and net. Actually, let's start by assembling the legs together first. So here's our left leg. Add our right leg. Make sure the connection point is nice and clean. Now let's add our torso. There we go. Fits on there pretty good. Okay, let's do the head. The neck is a small connection point, however, there's a nice groove and tooth situation, which make it a little bit more secure. Alright, tie. We'll definitely need to nudge that in place with some sort of pokey object. But he's done, so now we can do our cats. Let's go ahead and work our way up from the bottom, starting with the cat that is lying down, that is parked right behind his left leg. The leg which I expect will comfortably fit in this nice groove here on the cat body. Okay, this is telling me that he is not flat on this left foot, but it is in fact falling completely backwards, which is hilarious, but also that means that that cat needs to be solidly connected to that leg, because the cat is going to be the thing keeping him really attached to the base. No solid connection, just eyeball it, and to make sure there's no obvious gap on the cat, we should call it good. Okay, now we can add the net, which is going to connect right in here. Oops. That will attach to this part of the net bit. Probably be good to give a before and after, so here's the before. And after, you can see the top of the bit actually connects to the bottom of the coat, and there's like this rope thing continuing up across the chest. Okay, let's work on the cat that is jumping off of his back now. It is this one with the ears back? No, the ears up and the thin tail. Our connection point is going to be right here on the cat's back leg. And that will fill in the sort of gap right here in his coat. There we go. Also looks like you can glue that tail to the back of his upper arm too for stability. Okay, as far as the cat that is attacking his face, my one beef is the wrist. A real weird connection to the sprue, and I'm not sure how much I was supposed to shave it down, how much I was supposed to leave there. So I left a little on there more than I was thinking I would need to, just in case I need to trim it down. So definitely dry fit and see how that wrist looks when it's attached to the cat. Our connection point right there. So let me figure it out. Okay, I'm happy with that. I didn't have to trim down the wrist much at all. The instructions state that the cat paw is supposed to be on the face. I'm not entirely sure if that's true or not. I wasn't able to do it comfortably, but you could probably attach it to his hair, I think. Otherwise, he's done. But also, I had to let this whole thing dry before I attempted to do that last bit, because there's just a lot of stuff that's easily removable with a little bit of force, because the connection points are relatively small, so fair warning. Cat herder number 1 is done. We're going to call him James. And it wasn't the easiest build. The connection point of the cat on the back of his coat and the connection point of the net on his belt weren't terribly easy. Figuring out that right wrist and how it attaches to the cat that is attacking his face was also somewhat difficult. A little bit of patience, though, should go a long way. And I would only consider this to be like maybe a 7 out of 10 on difficulty. Yeah, really, just small connection points is your big issue. Shouldn't be too hard. Anyways, let's move on to our second cat herder. Alright, on to our female cat herder, who is going to have fewer bits. Hooray. I think our assembly is going to be creating pretty much her entire body, with the exception of one arm. Then make the cat, attach the cat to the box, and then attach that to her arm and finish it up with another arm. So we'll do the 2 halves of the skirt, the 2 feet as well, then her torso, her head, which fell off. It'd be right here otherwise. And then let's do her right arm. All right. Set that aside. Do the 2 halves of the cat, the head of the cat, put the cat on the box, glue the cat and the box to the right arm, and then finish up with the left arm. All right, so these 2 pieces first. Here is the back of the skirt, plus the front of the skirt. Now we'll do the feet, which, as you can see, the connection points are, one is smaller and one is bigger. I realized I was holding the sprue upside down initially, which means that our right foot, the bigger connection point, is here, and our left foot is here. There's our right foot and our left foot. Look at that stance, because that left, especially that left foot's going to be real wobbly and you're not sure how to set it. But once you get it in there, just push it down on a surface to make sure that it's flat. In this case, I guess it can't stand up on its own. And then let it cure for a while, because those feet are going to be easy to knock out of place otherwise. But once we do that, we will go ahead and do the torso right here, followed by the head, which would be right here if I didn't accidentally rip it off the sprue earlier. Okay, moving on. Before and after. And also after. Okay, let's look at the sprue one more time. We will add the right arm, then combine the 2 halves of the cat head, the cat with the box with the right arm, and then do the left arm. Let's get started. Before and after. Half of the cat with the tail. Add half the cat with the tail. Cat head. Here is our box box has two small connection points right there and right there. Those are going to be where the right legs of the cat sit, so the cat would be facing us. If you look this way, whoops. The other legs, I guess, are going to sit on that edge because the flap is out. They don't need as precise of a connection point, I think. Let's put our kitty on the box. There we go. If you push those little tabs on the ends of the cat legs into their allotted holes as far as possible, you'll note that he appears to be ever so slightly askew. And that's not a bad thing, just something I noticed. Okay, you can kind of see where the right hand is going to fit on the cat. Right there. So add that next. Okay. It's going to be probably just slightly janky, but it'll fix itself when we put the left arm on. But note that there's a very obvious notch in the connection point where the space between the thumb and the fingers go. That's a good guide for putting the hand in the right spot. Now, let's do the left hand and we'll be done. All right, there we go. Cat Herder 2 is done. Baser. Our second cat herder is done. And while I've probably done this duo before, we're going to call her Jessie because I feel like it's very appropriate. Hardest part of this build was getting the feet to point correctly and wait for them to cure, as well as getting the cat on the box securely. Those are just mostly due to thin connection points. Overall, pretty easy build and a lot easier than the last one, so let's look at the whole box. The Cat Herder's box is done, containing two models, Cat Herder 1, or male Cat Herder, and Cat Herder 2, or female Cat Herder. Majority of the difficulty was in Cat Herder 1, just a lot of extra bits and a lot of small connection points. Cat Herder 2 really only had the feet and the cat on the box to contend with. Overall, honestly easier than I was expecting it to be. Still not super easy, but a nice relief from the regular curiosity killed the cat box, so I'll call that a win. Anyways, I've been your foreman, Douglas Scoundrels, helping you build better Malifaux. Have a good night.